Now let's color it. And now we want it to be if touching the color 38. Let's pick this color 35. We go to the other color, call it a 35. Let's try again. 33. Let's go. And remember, you can go to the tutorials when I'm done with this. Let's click on go. When it touches the ground, it doesn't do anything. So the backdrop, let's go here, flip it vertical. Now, let's make it be able to go back to the top. To go. Let's create another block so I call it setup, which is the same as the other one. And let's click on that screen refresh and let's click OK. Let's minimize because we have so many scattered blocks. In this long one, we won't be really touching it anymore. Let's bring that down and bring this block up here. Now we'll duplicate this and just bring setup to the front. We remove the hitbox and replace it with setup. Now for the setup, we want it to go to a place when it starts. And since there isn't much space in between the blocks, we need to do it quick. So what we're going to be doing here is we're basically going to have to make it go to a place when it's a different block. Because it's going to have to change between blocks. Switch costume to, since we have all these blocks, we want it to go to a random. So we'll go to the operators and pick random 1 to 7. Because there are 7 Tetris blocks. If we say 6, it's only about the last block, the last Tetris block, which is the Z. Which would be good because the person gets to see the Z block. And now you're going to make it fall down with the setup, and so let's do it go. Remove the new description said, yeah. If not straight away. And now let's go to the top when the game starts. So I do F. And there will be 2 occasions when we want the setup to happen. Bring this F's all in here. This if thanks. We bring it out 7 times, which is going to be a lot. So we have 1, 2, 7. Let's zoom in on the block we're doing right now. So this is the block we're doing, and this is a close-up. And first, we want to make it go to a place with a costume. We're just bringing all this equals because they're all needed. And we go to deluxe. So now bring out costume number, which is also another way. So if costume number is equal to 1. But it's better to make it with the name. So if it's I, because that was the first block, L, T, O, J, S, and the Z. So these are all the blocks in order, and if you click on switch costume, you see we do have them all in order. And now let's bring out the costume name. Let's switch costume name so it keeps on same as that when they have to change it all the time when I bring it out. And then we click on costume name, it says S, which is actually right. It's an S, but here we're also going to make the next costume. And go to the motion and bring the go to X. So it will go to here if it's an S. It also goes to here if it's a Z. It doesn't go here, it goes here when it's let's bring so we want it to stay here because it wasn't upgraded to actually minus 84 and a Y of 129. So we leave the Y alone. The Z is also the same. So let's now you see it's changed and now we can bring it in. So the next costume it's the eye. Let's bring the eye up here. We just eye is a X of minus 59 and a Y of 166. The costume is the J, which we can also use to be school name. We go to our setup and we check well, we find that it goes here when it starts. Let's remove this block because that's how I want it to go, and now these blocks are the same. Let's just arrange them and make them work. So just go to X. So we want it to be an L. The L would go to here. So here we just call this minus 83 and the Y of 126. We'll put this in and we just let's say duplicate it and let's draw this in. Now next block is a T. The T wanted to go to here when it starts. We go to X minus 49 and let's stop it. We don't stop it yet because if we stop it, it's will be really hard. 131. Put that in the T, and the next block is O. So the O would be minus 56 and a Y of 139. And our last block, that's the J, would be since this is the same as the Z. Let's make it go here. Doesn't really work, so we Let's go to minus 88 and 122. Let's say a 126. If we go, they all have the places they go to when the game starts. But another thing we want to use this is the hitbox. Go to the my blocks and do setup. So now when it touches the ground, let's go into my setup here, and if we go back here, put this back in and down. See, now they can't get out of here, which is not the best because now our game is really good and proof that our blocks will never get out, no matter any weight. And with the setup block, they'll go to where they're meant to be when the game starts or when a block is dropped. Now, let's call this block here the next block. It's going to be the same as the Tetris blocks because we're going to be outside here. And we want it to go to broadcast a message, which would be called new block. And this means it's send a message to the next blocks about a new block. Well, we didn't use it, so yeah. We're going to make it again in the Tetris blocks this time. Go here and bring the broadcast new block on top of it. Actually, let's wait a second. So this way we give it time. Yeah. Yeah, and the next blocks. We do need to remove all this code, which is going to be because it's tampering, which is why we arrange all this in a place. So they all remove. Let's keep one running for a click. And so we just remove all this here, and now we can remove the defined blocks. Oh, we still have one here. We had setup. So let's remove all this. We got the next blocks here. We won't have anything that's tampers with our code. Well, it doesn't really work well. And we want it to stay as it forever. But not in the blank. Because if it was in the blank, then all the blocks won't even be able to turn to another Tetris block. And this is basically a way to make a Tetris game without using the stamp function, which is in the pen. Let's go back and see if now I go. Let's go again. Those are Tetris blocks. Want it to set up. And so basically still have to change all this. The green is okay. The red is not okay, which is the Z. Let's go here. Yes. This is S. The purple, which is the S again now. Red Z. Yellow is touching some other blocks. And in Tetris, they need to have their own space. So let's arrange it onto these blocks actually, and let's zoom in on the blocks we're doing. And I set this to -44 and the Y of 127. Press an T, move these two. Well then, orange is not that good. Actually, let's do undo, undo, undo every single thing we just did, and yeah, just no blocks outside. Yeah, the reason why it's not aligned is because of the green square is probably the so normal because and so what we want to do is move this up a stitch because the blocks are always one away from touching it. As we go. Oh yeah, and wait. Tetris block, let's point to direction 19. Let's make sure they're all safe in normal. Yes. So now we have our game here. The block, let's see, we didn't finish adding everything. These are all in color check, and yes. We also do need to add them over here to keep everything safe. But you see that we are the ones controlling the block. To stop us from the block just staying in the air until we move it down, let's create another my block. First, let's minimize out here to see all our blocks and make sure that they are not scattered in any way so it doesn't make it hard for us to recognize any blocks we're looking for. And let's remove the next costume. This next block we're going to make is fall. Remember to click on round out screen refresh and then click on OK. Now with the fall block, let's bring it over here. And now let's do fall forever. So it's going to be the same as all these other blocks except from the setup because setup happens in different amounts of time. Now the fall, we wanted to do 110 forever, which is basically just two blocks. Wait 1 second and also then change y by -20 steps. Now let's run this now. to go first. And this isn't actually the next block. We haven't made it. And that's what we're going to do after we see our test run. So first of all, let's make this Tetris box in the center. I think this will affect it. Oh yeah, it did affect it. So yeah, let's just leave it out here. So now our Earth is working well, and what we have to do now is make the next blocks. So those are the Tetris blocks. It has request new block and setup. But the new block doesn't broadcast to any sprites. So it's going to broadcast the new block to the next blocks. Let's zoom in on this so we can see it well. What it's going to do is a switch costume to pick random of 1 7. Wait 1 second and then it do it again. What we're doing is making it actually have this is going to show the current block and then the next block. So I want it to go like that because it isn't going to wait for the block. So that it just takes the second block, which the next block and make it to play a current block. Then after this we're going to switch the costume. Remove this pick random 1 7. Next blocks and costume name. And we want to do when green flag clicked. It would also do the same thing and also we can tap go. So right now our next block is the right block and let's see if it actually works. That's what focus and yes, it worked. I would say we could just remove this block because they don't seem to really need it. Yeah, so now it's green and the next block is blue. But what if we get a full row? This is where we're going to use our next block. This is going to be called line dots, which represents the dots on each of the lines, and we call this line leader. And now for the line leader, we want to convert it to bitmap. Let's zoom in, actually zoom out, and zoom out really far, and let's make it new dots of 57, acceleration of 100, and minus of 100. And now let's make a circle. Let's go. And I'm going to carry this dot here. Control, copy and paste. actually controlling the block as we're trying to do. Yes, if we stop now, we're going to add something to make the Tetris block stop from falling on another block. Let's go. So these blocks are still towards stop, and this isn't actually going to be stamped. Let's copy paste. Move this up to the same side as that one, and like those move left, down. Then we have three more. I should just copy and paste these three. I put them till they reach the end. Now let's go. And they're all in the line. This is all we need to do with that, and since we aren't using the stamp with the pen function and the add extensions or the other extensions that we can't show out. So what we're going to do is forever we're going to make a block. We'll call this line full. So this shows in case a line is full. And then we're just going to come around with that screen refresh and then okay. With the line full here, let's define this over here and we want it to check if a line is full. So it's basically just if then else, which is the only block we need. If it's touching a color, so now we see why Tetris does really a lot with color in Scratch and touching that color because of the block. Then it does nothing. Also to broadcast a message called delete line. So it's a new message called delete line. Actually, let's just use this and we broadcast delete line in to the block. It has only one piece of code it wants to do. Those all move down by a block. And here, let's take the color of this and use it in here. Without any outline or anything like that. Let's just use it in here. Let's pull it up. It reaches up here, and yeah. Now we don't see any blocks. So this is what we want it to be. Like this. Let's go back to the block. Let's zoom in on the delete line function. And I want to add if touching this color.